Getting started in the EVE Vanguard Operation Avalon test is not easy. There's a lot I like explaining in game, so if you're new to it or haven't played in a while, I've got you covered. It's safe to say the devs have been hard pushed to get the build ready in time. We've not had any closed access to this version, so preparing content in advance has not been possible. So, with that in mind, here's my hastily prepared Getting Started in Operation Avalon guide. Okay, so first up we have loadouts. So, in the loadout tab, looking at weapons, and when you first load up the game, yours will look something like this. You've got your carbine in the top slot and a multi-tool in the bottom one. Basically, get rid of these. Put them in your inventory for the time being. You do not need them, or at the very least, you will lose them very easily. By deploying without them, the game will give you a loner version, which has standard 140 rounds of kinetic, 30 of energy ammo, and that is basically all you need to get started in this game. So you got to learn the map, you got to learn what's an NPC versus what's a player, and that side of things. So worrying about losing your gear first off, or modifying a weapon when you don't even know how it feels like for the chipsets, I would say is not worth it. Like I say, why use the loner weapons? So if I was to use kind of a pre-made carbine, then I've got the ability to modify it using these kind of chipsets. So items like being able to change headshot damage, or changes the recoil and spread reduction, that side of things I can put in here. And like I say, it modifies the weapon. At this point there is no firing range though, so you can't see what those kind of modifications will do, or you can't see how that gun feels. So I'd say at the very least, run with nothing there equipped first off, so you understand how the weapon feels as kind of like a baseline. One top tip we do have is, if you do want a second weapon, or like by putting in, for example, I'd recommend the pulse rifle, the DMR. If you put that in the second slot, it will actually still give you that free gun as well, so you can run around with two weapons for half the cost basically. So that is your kind of your inventory section in terms of your weapon section. These are the weapons you'll be using, and how you equip them is how you modify them. You also have your backpack section. This is where you can kind of bring in additional ammo or deployables. So we have a bubble shield that you can kind of deploy down and kind of protect you from incoming fire, which you can shoot out of. In addition, we've got a motion sensor that detects other players and NPCs. Then you have grenades. No dedicated grenade key though, sadly. And last up, we've got your prox mines, which will explode after a kind of a short delay after kind of being triggered by an NPC or player. You do have the ability to craft additional ammo and weapons in game. I would say at this stage it's not really used much. Oh, weapons. The additional ammo or deployables in game, it's not used very often. It's certainly the crafter side of things. Most of the time you can loot exactly what you need, but it's handy as an option to kind of bring things in at short notice, or when you're kind of like at a pinch. The resources for bringing them or for crafting them is nanites, which can be looted off other players, NPCs, and I think it's the drones are meant to get off the most in terms of NPCs go. You automatically loot them as part of your kind of when you first press E. So in order to actually craft them though, you need to buy or be rewarded with a crafting program. You've got 3 slots where you can choose what to craft in. So and it's a quick drop and drag to then change them over. Right, so that's how you kind of modify your loadout. How you get additional things, obviously when you deploy down and extract with resources, that's how you kind of gear up. But in addition, you've got the market, so we've got ability to buy ammo, we can buy the basic weapons, additionally chipsets to kind of modify our weapons. And then as you get more cash, you can then upgrade to blueprints, which give you the ability to manufacture weapons and manufacture better variants of it. So these Apex variants will give you additional benefits, like for example high damage and faster reload speeds, as well as giving you more chipset slots. I feel like I've got one of these actually in my loadout, or I've got one in my thing already. Yeah, so when you get an Apex variant as well, it may not be very obvious, but you have to use this. You have to scroll down in order to get all the slots as well. It's just as a quick tip. And I'm going to unequip that. Yeah, like I say, so I'm just going to run with the free SMG or carbine and the pulse rifle. Back to the market tab. Like I say, you've got the ability to purchase things. You've got 3 vendors though, so that one's mainly focused on your kind of ammo, weapons, and chipsets. And then your crafting programs, and then your blueprints for manufacturing chipsets. And then this is kind of a simple, buying mining resources. So if you don't feel like getting a multi-tool and mining yourself, you can go simply buy it here as well. Obviously, you'll be paying a lot more for it from this kind of section. So that's loadout, market, and then manufacturing. I won't really cover this off. It's not really kind of a new player thing because, you know, like I say, you can kind of run starter gear to begin with. But once you've got these blueprints, you can then, using these resources, craft things. So yeah, like I say, it gives you exactly what you need, and it's just your case of got to find them on the ground. We also have expeditions. I don't have the selection here because I've still got one in progress, but there should be a couple of options you can pick from. But these are basically quest chains you take on. So some of the objectives will be relatively easy. For example, you know, this is just a simple kind of turning in an intel fragment, so turning in something you may have already looted. But then it can work its way up to more complex tasks where you've got to traverse a good section of the map. And there are as well some challenging ones where you have to successfully extract. If you do get an expedition where you need to extract, I would recommend getting an additional clone. I'll kind of explain a little bit about that a bit later, but that just gives the option of, like, if you kind of like die whilst you complete the other two objectives, you can just simply run to extraction and still be able to complete that mission. There's no kind of like needing to, at this point, have mission items in order to extract. I would also as well as say it's best to run expeditions in a group. I mean, it's challenging to, you know, actually have the same kind of mission items to do, but having the protection of a squad means you're a lot more likely to succeed in your expedition. Being a solo player and trying to complete these kind of POIs, the points of interest, can be quite a challenge. So the last menu to go is the deploy menu. In this build, there are no additional planets, there are additional locations, there is just one you need to deploy down on. I will say as well, what you need to watch out for is this fill squad. If you want to run solo, you need to make sure that is unticked. You can squad up by inviting people in your kind of favorites list, or additionally, you can, like I say, if you want to squad up randoms, you can simply click that fill squad, and then you will appear with other players, or, you know, you'll be deployed in. And good luck with that. There is prox chat in the game, I should say, as well, so you might get people being people, basically. Right. So let's just check my loadout. I'm not going to bother bringing anything extra in because this is a quick demo. I've got my pulse in my second, so okay, now I can deploy. And depending on the time of day and other factors, it may take a while to matchmake, or you may go in pretty quick. I will say, yeah, so far, like, my matching is pretty easy. So I'm in kind of the EU West server, so it has been fairly well populated, but we'll have to see how this one goes. And when you first load in, you're given a map screen, so you haven't yet deployed to the ground. And depending on your spawn location, I think some will display and some won't. It depends on what part of the map is kind of showing when you first load in. But yeah, it will also give you your objectives to complete, so you can see, yeah, because I'm in this location at the bottom, it has actually allowed it. I think sometimes at the top, it's kind of, this view is kind of cut off, and my objectives are where I need to complete over here. So yeah, that's kind of like the kind of basics of the map. This map looks like it's still early days because the extraction sites, all of them are still up. What happens is these will subsequently go offline, be targeted by orbital bombardments, NPC provider ones at this stage, and that will, yeah, show you how it will limit basically where people can extract. So I've gone in towards the start or middle of the session, basically at 34 minutes. You can see here we've already got spawning issues where, you know, players are spawning in right next to me, which yeah, needs to be fixed. So what I recommend with this default kind of setup is you change to your energy ammo straight away. That's kind of your travel fit. If you encounter another player, you want to have like your best gear first, basically. In terms of explaining the UI, so next to my name at the bottom left, you've got the shield in white. That will auto regenerate after you're taking damage, and then your health bar is the red one, which you'll have to manually heal for. How to heal is simply by holding 3 to kind of heal sequentially. You need to obtain biomass in order to do that. You're kind of given some to begin with. That's those that couple of green bars in my inventory, or sorry, in the UI at the bottom. So this looks like quite a busy map as well. You've got plenty of players just kicking about. I'm going to try and avoid them, as I find that shooting and talking at the same time is not my strong point. So what I'm going to try and do is simply buy another clone at this stage. So I'm looking for Nexus data. That is, so if you see the bottom left, it says clone none. That is because I do not currently have a respawn. So I'm looking for these specific containers that have Nexus data, and that will hopefully allow me to go to the reclone station and complete that. So there's another player over there. And yeah, 2 guys fighting. They can't play nice. Trying to avoid getting involved when I, like say, just trying to do this quick demo. Let's see if they target me. Right, so I'm in the look for out specific containers in order to reclone. These are the ones I want to get. Just listening out for other players. And this is next data. I only need 200 of this in order to get an additional clone. And I'm going to hope that they are busy trying to kill each other. So, there are 2 locations on the map in order to get additional clones. I will show you once I get nearer them. But basically, so far these have not really been camped, but as more people understand the mechanics of the game, I kind of expect it's going to get worse. This is on my screen now. You can see one of the extraction bridges, or they call them harmonic beacons. And that is basically how you escape the map, or how you get out with all your loot. So I'm just looking for NPCs at the moment. So what I need to do is simply get to this clone bank over here and kind of hide behind the turret so it doesn't see me. And you can only hack. You can only get it from a certain point as well. It has to be at the front. It leaves you very exposed for a long length of time. So best have a. Oh, that sniper at the top is going to get me. No, apparently the terrible shot. Yeah. So. Yeah, best have a deployable shield really if you're going to do this well. Your tactics should evolve as well depending on how long you've got left on the map. Because I've got 34 minutes, it really does make sense to get that extra clone. What happens in this game is you'll lose all your inventory, but you'll respawn with your gun. So if you're coming in with a particularly expensive weapon, you know, a lot of chipsets and that side of things, then obviously having an additional clone is very helpful. This effectively duplicates your weapon. Because in this game as well, there's no looting other players' weapons. It's lost if you fail to extract. Yeah, so the maximum clones you can have is 1, and that is actually shared by a squad as well. So a solo player can have 1, and a squad will have 1, not 1 each. So that can obviously be a bit challenging in terms of like nominate your best player to try and redeploy and get back in and get the squad's additional clones if you do get wiped. Like as you can see, this build I do not have the mission objectives on my screen. I need to press map, and you can see they're up here as well. So that can be a bit frustrating in terms of seeing visibly when something's actually completed.
They will scan for the position of our bridges.
There are also a lot of lore text or lore snippets basically, which can be a bit tricky to pay attention to. So you can see that now that it's updated, you can see exactly how long all these extraction sites got left. I'm going to quickly go over to this one and extract. I'm trying to think of any other things I might have missed. So we've got how to heal biomass. You can press Z to change your to your craft options. You have to hold it in order to complete it. Like I say, it's using those kind of nanites in order to actually loot additional items. What else have we got? So in regards to the previous builds, it's much more of kind of a PvE kind of build. It may not look it, but NPCs, or when I'm doing the points of interest, NPCs are much more of a kind of a threat. And that's what you look out for, and that's why they have kind of more like Destiny or Division style awareness notifications above the head. In order to leave, you need to press E and things will slowly be revealed. You can hold E. Is that player? That's player. Players are all wearing the same kind of suit, so you should be able to identify them easy enough once you get used to the game. They've got the drop on me, so I'm going to reposition. Plus as well, my ability to kind of shoot and talk at the same time is not great. Yeah, so you can see my shield took damage, but now it's kind of fully recovered. There is a shield delay. That is what an extraction beacon looks like when a player is extracting. You don't need to be in the beam to begin with. You can like activate it and then just leg it. And then just simply run in, and it's kind of like an instant process in terms of when you get to extract from that. As you can see, it's pretty popular activity right now. So Depending on the bridge you get, it may be fairly quiet. How long have I got? 1 minute 47. I'll actually let this one go, and you can see what it's like when it gets an orbital bombardment. From what I understand, as long as you get there before, as long as you activate it before the countdown runs out, you'll still get to extract. But you know, don't quote me on that. If you get blown up. But it's an orbital bombardment that basically is kind of NPC effect that like kind of rains down, and you better not get caught in it. Easy to kind of confuse at first with like someone trying to extract, but you'll kind of see the effect. Trying to think of anything else I've missed off. Well, you can see someone's just activated it. How long have they got? Yeah, so they'll make it in time. In terms of when you do the extraction, or if you don't successfully extract, or yeah, look, someone's got a good tactic there. They're extracting with a shield, so you know, it'd be difficult to kill them unless you're running up to them with a knife. In the build I'm currently playing, melee is quite overpowered because in addition to its damage, it also gives you the ability to regenerate your shield if you manage to kill the NPC or player you're attacking. That's an additional player there. I don't know if they've seen me or not. But yeah, it seems to be a quite populated server at this point. Everyone's enjoying their lunch break. Yeah, I just want to kind of wait and see, so I can kind of like show you the orbital bombardment. 5 seconds. Yeah, that player's activated it around about the same time as the OB is going to hit, so we can see how that plays out. So I think yeah, because someone's extracting now, it's kind of basically delayed the timer, and that should in theory be set off as soon as they kind of finish the extract. Yeah, NPCs aren't... Oh, here's the orbital bombardment. So yeah, as you can see, that's now been taken offline. And I'm going to just leg up to this one instead. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, you can see I'm just going to wait for my shield damage to go back. Oh, this NPC is going to get me.
Aegis seeks to extract Nemesis technology from a nearby fuel platform. Find a commander with the access code.
And this is why melee is overpowered, because you can just basically knife the whole team to death. So if I hold 3, you can see I'm going to heal with that kind of biomass resource. And use that up, so I'm just going to loot and get some more. You should be able to see nanites and biomass appear on the right hand side. I should actually loot that guy. And if the NPCs are still there, then they have some form of loot on them. Once you've taken all their stuff, they will disintegrate. So that's how you tell if there's any of the resource left. I'm going to change to my kinetic ammo. Okay, so like I say, you can use that kind of deployable shield backup as well, or you can just chance it. I mean, I've got nothing on me at the moment, so I am just going to see if it extracts. And like I say, you don't need to be in the beam as well. You can just literally just leg it. Give yourself a decent amount of space, get yourself cover. Try and avoid getting killed by that guy.
The link is ready. Get
Rough.
to the bridge.
Yeah, even with a shield that probably wouldn't have saved me. But, you know, I do have that additional clone. So for this instance, I can just simply reclone and get back in. Obviously, I lose all my gear. All my inventory. So depending on what you're trying to achieve, that could be frustrating. But in terms of if you were doing a deployment and you know you've done your objectives and you just need to extract now, you've got that kind of extra backup. There's no need to go back and get all your stuff again. So here's hoping this is pretty straightforward. Because I brought in the loner weapon, I should have same setup again. So I got my 30 ammo. Someone's just activated there. I'm not sure I'm going to make that in time. You can also as well just simply go in through someone else's beam. So I won't have made it in this instance. That one's further away anyway. You just need to jump in at the last second and it'll still take you over, take you off.
Harmonic bridge nearby. A way home if you need it. Bridge activated. Hold your ground until the link is made.
And the snipers can be pretty lethal with their damage as well.
The link is ready.
But yeah, just need to jump in and you get to extract.
You return to
NPCs are still a work in progress at this stage, but any kind of damage you take now or any kind of shots they shoot at you will yeah, not register, and that counts as a extract and you get to keep all your stuff. And when you do extract, you can just have your items here. By default as well, they just show like kind of 1. They don't show the actual number of the things you extracted with. Importantly, crafter programs do not get lost on death. Even if you fail to extract, you still will bring these back. But if you fail to extract, then you'll lose all your kind of weapons. And as you can see, I don't retain my starter weapon or starter loner weapon. I think as well in this build you get like an additional 150 credits just for extracting. So yeah, to kind of help new players get back on their feet. And one point to note is your loadout. You can store all the things you did acquire just because you're stuck there. Still not kind of any quality of life features, so your inventory will be a mess. But in terms of you want to kind of repeat that, bringing in a free starter SMG, just remember to transfer your weapon to the bottom slot, and then you get that, retain that kind of, like I say, or carbine for free. So that's the kind of very bare bones intro to the game, or what I feel was not kind of explained. There's no kind of new player journey as part of this build, so always good to have some info on the essentials. But yeah, good luck and happy shooting. Hope to see you in the battlefield.